Okay, so we are live again. It is almost 5 o'clock, 9/8, 2023, and we are going to get the latest on Hurricane Lee. So let me get my intro going, and I'll be right back. All right, so let's do it. Let's get right to the Mapolas. Uh, yeah, do that. Hope everybody had a good night. I know I had a terrible night, but let's not go there. Holy freaking shit. Oh, God. Okay. So here's the latest. This is the advisory number 12, and this was done, I don't know, about 20 seconds ago, probably. Um, and we're looking at a really big, powerful storm here. This is definitely Cat 5 right now. We got 165 mile per hour winds. Let's think about that for a second. 165 miles per hour. That's catastrophic wind damage right there. The central pressure is way down to 926. And that's the reason why it's such a powerful storm right now. Because yesterday, when I did this, we were hovering around 989 millibars. So that's about 40 or 50 megabars lower. So this is an intense storm. It's moving about 14 miles per hour right now, and it's located 17.8 north, 53.3 west. For those who are plotting at home. So we have Margot right behind it. Margot is pretty much a fish story at this point, but it is named, and it's going to kind of, dance around here in the middle Atlantic for a little while. But it is forecasted to become a hurricane out here. But we got sustained winds. It's a minimal tropical storm right now, 40 mile per hour, 104 millibars. So you take, this is where pretty much Lee was at this time when it was over here. And now if you look here, it's amazing how this thing could have just bombogenesis is like this. Like I don't think I've ever seen a storm go from yesterday to today and be this crazy. All right, so here's the cone probability. I'll turn on this. So this is a little bit more north than it was yesterday, I think. But again, this whole projected path is really good right up until about Monday morning. And then the uncertainty is still, broad. Um, let's see what's changed, but it's still going to be, a major hurricane by 2 a.m. Wednesday. So, uh, I mean, this storm is really, really unlikely to be this magnitude when if it hits anywhere in the north. I mean, the eastern seaboard, if it does at all. But this is a majestic storm, so we're gonna have to take a look at this. So Lee is a dangerous Category 5 hurricane, and further strengthening is possible. This might go down as one of the strongest hurricanes in the Atlantic ever. Definitely the fastest. I don't remember a faster storm than this, going from minimal hurricane status to Category 5 in less than a day, and it's um, Lee's core is expected to move well north and northern of the northern Leeward Islands. So that's why I'm saying it's a little bit more north than it was yesterday. The Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico this weekend and early next week. And this is the 5 o'clock advisory. So this just came out. And this is going to be a big storm. I mean, this, this is just the eye wall here, but this is, these hurricane winds go out a good 100 miles out from the center. And this is really, regardless of whether or not it hits anywhere over here, this is really going to kick up the surf again. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. So if you like surfing, this is the place to do it this weekend. Probably not recommended though. All right, so let's check it out on satellite. Let's do the full disc here again. See what's going on here. Oh yeah. And here's that storm we were looking at yesterday over here in the Pacific. I forget the name of it, but it's not looking so good now. This storm here, Lee, is looking exactly like this storm looked yesterday. Once these Pacific storms come off of the coast here, it's really nice and warm in here for water. Once you get into, more western or central Pacific, these waters get much cooler, so that kind of just eats these things up. But this is a different story. Lee's a different story because its path right now is spa water. It's very, very warm, and it's not going to really encounter any shear whatsoever. And here's Margot behind it. Much less organized than this here. This is a lot more north than Lee, so this is going to head out into the open Atlantic here. It's still, it'll still be a pretty good sized hurricane. It's just not going to be affecting too many people for now, anyways. And this is what's going on over the United States right now. We have all kinds of different, I know we have a front dropping here in the east. We have cold air behind it, warm air in front of it. So this is going to produce some pretty nasty rains over the next couple of days. Hopefully down in here in Pennsylvania, it rains enough to wash this KP out of the woods here. So let's go to this is the lightning mapper, what they call it. This is all the densities of the lightning flashes. I think this is over the last 24 hours. There's already stuff going on here in the Caribbean here. But look at this. This is beautiful. Right there. So you see right around the eye wall right? You see all this convection right in the center. This is a beautiful storm here. Buzzsaw, outflow, high pressure on the top, low pressure underneath, just kicking up all of these storms, wrapping around the center. And here's Margot here, looking much less organized than this here. We got, let's see here, let's go back. So we have power storms kicking up here. We just got some last night. Right in through St. Louis again. Nope, I don't want that. Sorry. There's another swirl here. See this cooler water here. But I'm not seeing a lot of cool water up and down the East Coast here until you get way up into Maine and the Maine Maritimes and northern Canada here. All right, so let's go back to the water vapor. Now this is the upper level water vapor here, so this is way up. And there's that system in the Pacific that we were watching yesterday. It still looks pretty good, but it's not near as what it was yesterday. This is heading into death water here. But this storm here is not. And we have a low level circulation here, which is dropping this front down here. Ridge of high pressure over the Great Lakes. This is that dry air here, which we saw yesterday, which is moving out. Here's that ridge of high pressure here. Let's go down a notch here. There's that dry air here, dry air behind it. Here's your ridge of high pressure here. What I'm trying to do is get a look at all of these fronts that are going to start moving in later part of next week here. Up a level low there. Let's go down a notch here. Sometimes you can kind of just get in eyeballs, look at what's going on, over the next 2 or 3 days, but sometimes you can't. And that's why we have other maps, right? All right, so let's get out of here. Actually, what I want to do is go here. Line of, just clouds going on here. Yeah, this is an open bay of just extremely, you know, breeding grounds for tropical systems right now. I mean, look at these storms right here that are just popping up. So I don't think this is going to develop into anything because I think this is affiliated with the front that came through a couple days ago here. But, if you let these storms sit over here long enough, there's a possibility, that's for sure. The ridge of high pressure is in here, so everything's got to go around it. There is some shear here, though. See this, All right, let's go here. Found it. Give me a second. I am trying to pull up the same shit I pulled up yesterday. All right. So this is the next 5 days, I think. This is going to go valid through Sunday. Monday. Wow, Monday's already 9/11. Can you imagine that? Tuesday. Okay, so I want to stop it right there. Here's our system right here. No, here's our system right here. This is Africa here, Florida, East Coast. So here is Lee. And I want everybody to pay attention to this high pressure here. So we'll start this again. Watch how this shrinks. So you got this big broad area, high pressure here, right? This is Friday, 17 hour. And here's our system. So, this map here at this particular time, this is going to kind of stall here for a couple of days. It's not going to really be on a beeline anywhere because it can't. So if we go ahead here, another day, Saturday, it's kind of being held down here. There's another front dropping in here. And this is Saturday, 26 hour. Sunday. So here's this high pressure here. And if you notice the last couple of frames, it starts to lift north, right? And this is Sunday. So probably by Monday, this is going to start taking its turn north. Oop. See this bubble here? So it's going to get really close to Puerto Rico. They're going to definitely feel some effects from this because here's the center. So if this bobbles a little bit here, they're definitely going to feel that. And this is Monday. And there it goes. This is Tuesday, and you can see it starting to take its elevator turn here to a northerly direction. And this is Tuesday, 9/12. You got high pressure building here, high pressure here. High, high, high. See how this high pressure here is starting to lift north, more north. And that's creating an escape route for this storm here. See how far it goes. That's all I got is to Wednesday. But if you watch, it's going to be basically going on a slight northwestern track here. And then once it gets into here, you start to see it lift a little bit more north than northwest. Unless I'm seeing things, and it's possible. I did it. I stopped it right at Wednesday. Okay, so now we have this high pressure here shrinking. High pressure over Canadian Maritimes here. Yeah, I don't see it. Sorry. Uh, but let's see if I can get. Found it. Okay, so this is today, the latest. And of course, I can't. Okay, so I'm going to have to go with an older one. This is obviously behind this one, but let's do 7-day. Okay, so this is no, I don't want to. I don't want to zoom in. Oh, we'll just run it. I can just stop it again. Okay, so this is the ensemble, I think, of the GFS and all the other plots. On Zoom right here. Okay. 90-hour. So this is Monday. This image right here is Monday. And here's Margaret Milo, whatever this name is, Maybell. I don't know. It's an M word. This is going up into the Atlantic here. Some of them are pushing it more west than east, but here's another one starting to come off the coast of Africa here too. So, um, and again, these things are all over the fucking place, right? You have nobody knows right now. Nobody knows what's going to happen. You have a general consensus, though, that it's going to take a northern um, push here, right? That's eventually at some point. This one has it going all the way um, east. You have basically 50% of these points going away from land, and then you have 50% of these not so much. I mean, I just don't see it um, being a problem, but uh, let's go back. I want to get. Yeah, that was the ensembles there. So see right there, that's going to really dictate um, that northern turn, wherever that northern turn starts. And it looks like this model has it turning sooner. Right, right, about this parallel here, right there. So, and this is Wednesday. Sorry, I'm thinking. So this one has it turning much sooner. This is the single model. So we get right to about this parallel on the last one, and then this one has it turning inside of that parallel. Yeah, it's, once this ridge of high pressure here shrinks this way, it's gonna, like I said, create kind of like an escape route for this thing. And I think this front here is gonna save everybody right here. All right, so enough of that. But this is days and days and days away. Like what is it? Today's Friday, so a week from today, this thing will still be kind of in here somewhere. So anything can change. And I don't go. I mean, it's a good guidance for the first couple of days or so from the American model, but it's definitely been wrong before. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's go back here. Are they flying into this yet? I don't think they're flying into that anytime for today, tomorrow, plan of the day. Once it gets closer to San Juan, they'll be able to fly into it, I think. So let's go to this. Did I do this yesterday? So they already got hurricane warnings up here. Forget how I did this yesterday. Yep, right here. Individual waves may be more than twice the significant wave height. So this is the synopsis. So this isn't the theory here. $145 an hour, 145 knots. So this is about 160 here. 926. Minor fluctuations in intensity are expected through Sunday. So this is the Yucatan Basin. This is all bad news in here. Seas 12 feet or greater within 240 nautical miles northeast and 120 nautical miles southwest semicircles with seas to 40 feet. Seas 10 to 18 feet in southeastern swell. Yeah, I don't want any of that. There's Florida. Seems like it's cooling down a little bit, but not a lot. This is definitely cooler in here. So it's definitely going to if it goes up this way here, it's definitely going to weaken a little in here. And if it gets into New England, it'll just die. It'll just, these waters are really cold here for sure. I mean, they're a little bit warmer this year than normally, but, all right, so let's, look at that beast. It looks like it's going through an eye replacement right now. So that's not good. Usually these things, the eye wall will collapse on itself, and then in about 24 hours, it'll actually build a bigger eye wall, and that will mean that it's strengthening, which, it's just not good for anybody out here for sure. But I don't think there's anybody out here, so I don't think it matters. But it's just interesting to watch these things just. Can I get it visible yet? No? Nope. So this is the enhanced, um, and this gives you a really good, because they're probably not going to fly into this until it gets closer to Puerto Rico. So this is the best you can get right now. Because until anybody flies into this, we have no clue of how strong this is. It's just based off of guesstimating, unless you have a ship going by here or commercial aircraft flying over. But you could tell this is, just by they color in these reds and greens and blues and deep reds and the whites. The white is, if you see white in here, that's really, really high cloud tops. But, there's definitely, circulation here, outflow here, and it's grabbing any moisture it can possibly grab as it churns here from everywhere. These feeder bands will feed into this. This is a good looking storm here. All right, so let's watch some professionals here now. I'll go to my guy here over there. This was done 10 hours ago. $165 fucking miles an hour. Good Lord. Sorry for swearing, but this is just insane. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this intensified this quickly. Right? So let's show everybody. I do think it's going through an eye wall replacement right this very second. So then I'll get out of here because I don't want to be here too long. It's Friday, my day off. But I'll probably give another update later today when I get up. It was really cool having Thomas in here yesterday morning. Thomas is an awesome guy. Go send him some love at Thomas Frost. And some of the other guys, Jinx is awesome. Meow Zedong is great. Hopefully everybody's doing good over their COVID problems. Who else? Rick Snay. And to give an update on score last night, I think it was 21-20. Detroit won, so I'm already 0-1 for the season. But the good news is so isn't the guy that I compete against. So it's going to be a wacky football season for sure. Yeah, there's no sound to this. This is just a loop. Nobody's up this early but me. So you got 630 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands. It's the island chain closest to this system here. 165 miles an hour. I mean, that's got to be a mistake. But as you can see here, this eye wall is starting to close in on itself. And it's going to reform probably somewhere in here and be a little bit bigger. Northwest at 14 miles per hour. This is actually going to slow down a little bit over the next couple of days once it gets into here. They're definitely going to feel the effects from this for sure. I mean, this is a big storm. It's, the width of this storm is pretty wide. All right, let's go.
Correct, and stealing from God. So I don't recall ever really listening to Turek when I.
I'm going to try to get some sound. All right, so let's go to the latest. They're still searching for that guy in Pennsylvania. It's so weird. A month ago, 14 years ago. No, that can't be right. All right, well, let's just watch this one here for now until something else pops up, I guess. But I don't think anybody's willing to predict where this goes after Tuesday. That's why. Next couple of days is easy, but once you get past Tuesday, they probably won't have a good idea of where this is going until about tomorrow, maybe tomorrow afternoon. All right, so this is coming from WHAS 11. There's another guy that does reports out of Houston that's pretty good too. So, but like I said, nobody's up this morning except me today, right now. All right, so let's watch this here.
Pine here with a tropical update with Hurricane Lee, a monster storm out here still.
So this was 7 hours ago. So look at the pressure 7 hours ago, 953, and it's down to 926. So in 7 hours, this dropped from 953 to 926. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, not moving all that quickly to the west-northwest at 15, but it has been intensifying pretty rapidly. Right now, a major Category 4 hurricane with winds up to 130 miles per hour. You can see that well-defined eye right there, and that just shows that it is well organized and will not be weakening anytime soon. The latest forecast here, the late night update from the National Hurricane Center has it making it up to a Category 5 major hurricane over the next 24 hours. Category 5 hurricanes, not all that common. The last one was last September with Hurricane Ian that hit Florida, of course. But over the last 100 years, we've had about 40 Category 5 hurricanes, and then it's expected to drop back down to a Category 4. That's still a major hurricane. And as you know,
so I think that's like one every 2 years, right? So it doesn't happen often.
Just the track here. This is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So even through early next week, this storm is over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean, staying north of Puerto Rico and staying off to the northwest of
the mosquitoes around here are still absolutely fucking horrible. Sorry again for the swearing, but
Bahamas. The big question here, what we've been talking about over the last week or so, is where it's going to head after that. And the weather model data here, the tropical weather models, we call that the spaghetti plot right there because it looks like spaghetti, but it's going to be tracking to the north. And it looks like the best bet is that it'll stay off the east coast of the United States. And that would certainly be a good thing. That has been the general trend of the weather models over the last several days. Now, Bermuda will certainly have to watch out. As you can see, the tracks are very close to the island there. But thankfully, so far, the current forecast keeps this storm away from the east coast of the U.S.
Fox 35 News starts now, tracking the tropics.
Well, Hurricane Lee is now a massive Category 5 storm swirling in the Atlantic. Good evening and welcome. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. The latest track just came out.
So this is an hour after that last one we watched came out. So it went from, this is just bizarre. In an hour, probably the next update that they came out with had this jump from a 3 to a 5.
Moments ago. So let's get right over to Fox 35 storm team meteorologist Allison Gargaro. Allison, does this new model show if it's coming any closer to Florida?
No, it really doesn't. We're still so many days out, but I do want to let you know that our spaghetti plot models still have it making a curve to the north, but that's by the middle of next week. We are talking more than 5 days out. But I do want to mention that this is now the first Category 5 storm so far this hurricane season. We're looking at 160 mile per hour sustained winds. And you think that's a lot? Just look, intensity does continue overnight. And by tomorrow morning, we could be seeing 180 mile per hour sustained winds. So this system does continue.
Think about that. 180 mile an hour sustained winds. That means over time, not just like one gust. It's sustained.
to stream across the Atlantic, moving west-northwest at about 14 miles per hour. It's going to move pretty quickly over the next day to 2 days. And then by late weekend and into early next week, this storm will be slowing down. So that's why we're going to be seeing it lose a bit of steam, but still a very strong Category 4 storm as we head into early next week. The track going out until 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So I did mention those spaghetti plot models. They're showing by Wednesday of next week as when we could be seeing that curve off to the north. National Hurricane Center saying, hey, we're still several days out to know exactly where it will be heading. Something that we do know is that the state of Florida will be seeing some indirect impacts. We are talking about the wave heights. You can see it bumping up to more than 30 feet out in the open Atlantic, but that's all going to be pushing toward our immediate east coast. So not only can you expect an increase in the wave height, but also the potential for dangerous rip currents. So that's what we'll be watching for by the middle of next week. We do have an 11 p.m. advisory on Tropical Storm Margot, still monitoring 40-mile-per-hour sustained winds.
That was her
Coming up
name,
in just a
Margot.
few minutes, I'll have
What did I say, Mabel? I don't know what I'm saying.
more details on the
It's an M word.
rise and rain chances across central Florida for your Friday, as well as the weather weekend ahead. Make sure you stick with us.
Okay, so I don't want
Most
to watch this
accurate
one. This is
forecast
First
from the
Coast.
First Coast News Weather Team.
6 hours ago. This is the
Sponsored
guy.
by AC Design.
And we got some thunderstorms out there this evening, mainly southeast Georgia, Waycross and Alma. We're looking at you. This line pretty strong, pretty loud as well. You're hearing that thunder up there, aren't you, Waycross? Right on the edge of Glenn County, too. You're probably seeing and hearing maybe a little bit of thunder rattling as you're trying to hit the sack tonight. These showers and storms slowly drifting, coming out of going to be coming out of Alma, coming down towards Waycross here. So another line over the next hour, hour and a half or so that we'll watch move through. So a couple of showers and thunderstorms, nothing severe. I'm going to be here all night. I'll be watching very carefully, but nothing severe for you. Satellite radar, and you see those thunderstorms in southeast Georgia. Get out and look out deep into the Atlantic, and there is Lee. Lee, a very, very impressive storm. Even Josh, just looking at it on the satellite picture right now, a Category 5 storm, 160-mile-an-hour sustained winds. With 200 near 200-mile-an-hour gusts. The devastation, I don't know if we can truly wrap our minds around a 200-mile-an-hour gust. This storm, though, confidence continues to grow that this storm is going to continue its curve. You've got
Here's the other one.
Lee here, the forecast cone going out.
This is coming out kind of south of the Cape Verde Islands here too, so this will be of interest next weekend for sure. Not this weekend coming up, but next weekend. Here's our system here.
Quite showing that recurve to the north yet, though there is a great deal of confidence. And then behind it, Margot, and Margot is certainly going to remain something that mixes up the fish.
Yes.
So the front.
It's this front right here. So.
And the lead. The front is what we need, and the front, we have it. So front's going to usher in some thunderstorms for us as we go through our weekend, maybe a couple of change of temperatures. But here is one computer model look, and I'm not picking and choosing the computer models I like. I'm picking the ones that have consistently been the best performing, the GFS and the European models. This model here is showing precipitable water in the atmosphere, and we can go long range with this further out. So we're going to next Thursday. We're going for a week from tonight, the front helping push this storm out, up, and towards maybe the Canadian Maritimes, Maine. Portions of New England need to be thinking about this as we get towards the end of next week, but really would be a weakening system as it makes its way further north. We're going to hover between a Category 5 storm and a Category 4 storm. So two things I want you to look at here as we focus in on Lee. The blue lines represent the GFS computer model. The yellow lines represent the European model here. So focusing in on Lee as we put it into motion, very consistent. GFS and Euro right on top of each other. So this showing the isobars, the lines of equal pressure here with the storm, both right on top of each other as we go through Monday. Consistency and confidence, currently at least, with both the European and the GFS, that the front over the eastern United States is going to help push this storm. So we'll start to see by Wednesday the turn.
Oh, this
now,
isn't
what
good.
happens after the turn?
This isn't good because 9 times out of 10, the European model, and that's what I saw, even before he put this in there. The European model is usually the more accurate. So we'll keep checking in on this, but I'm putting my money on the European model 9 times out of 10, especially when they're both in agreement till about right here. But yeah, no.
A European
I've been burnt by this GFS model way too many times.
model in yellow favors maybe something on the eastern seaboard, GFS out to sea. That's something we'll watch.
But I will guarantee you one thing. Even if this is correct right here, right? The GFS, I mean the European model. This storm here will not be a Category 5 in these cold waters here. It just won't. It'll be a much weakened storm. This may, I mean, even if it's a Category 1, I'll be shocked up in here. But that can still do some damage on the coastline here, for sure.
European model in yellow favors maybe something on the eastern seaboard, GFS out to sea. That's something we'll watch very carefully. Our local impacts are going to be.
All right, so guess what? I'm going to get the hell out of here. I hope everybody has a good day. It's my day off, so I'll be doing my lives tonight. I'll do an update on Lee tonight, and then, in the midst of that, I'll do True Crime Weekly, and then early tomorrow morning, I'll be doing episode 2 of the Connecticut River Valley Killer. That's just a program note. All right, so everybody have a good day. I'm getting out of here. Goodbye.